How's everybody doing today? I decided to start this channel because I purchased a 67 convertible Firebird uh, right at the beginning of the pandemic last year, and I knew it needed some work, and I'll be uploading some of the videos of some of the structural sheet pan, floorboards that I've replaced, things like that. But this car is my daily driver, and so that's kind of going to be the focus of this is doing resto mods on a daily driver and the challenges associated with that. Uh, I live in Southern California up in the high desert where in the summers it gets up to 110 pretty regular. So one of the big challenges up here is keeping this thing cool. It already has an aluminum radiator in it. When I bought this car, it it just had dummy lights when I bought it, so I really don't know how well it was doing cooling, because I only drove it for about 3 days before I put it in the garage and just tore it all apart. So one of the things I've done since I've added air conditioning, I've tried electric fans, which this is the unit, and you can see it's just sitting there, right? So manufacturer claimed it was 3200 CFM. I thought that would be enough. I will say, in traffic around town, it seemed to do a decent job, but on the highway, I just couldn't get enough airflow through that it would actually start getting hot on the highway. So I went back to the flex fan that I had in it with a shroud. On the highway, it does fine. In town, running the air conditioning, it gets hot. I added a 12-inch pusher fan in front of that, in front of the air conditioning condenser to help. I'm not sure that it's working. The 12-inch fan I put in there claimed 1500 CFM. I think that's an exaggeration, because when I hold my hand in front of the radiator, it's very hard to feel any airflow. So one of the things I decided to do today, and I saw it on one of the other channels, is I'm going to add some vents to the hood to hopefully get some of that heat out of there, and some of the challenges with doing that. So one of the things I did is I made a template to match up to the vent itself, and then I traced that out on the hood, and then put some tape down to minimize any scratching on the paint, and then used my wheel to cut it out. And then in some of the tight spots, I went ahead and used my air saw. And so now the hole's done. Did my dry fit, fits in there pretty good. But one of the things I noticed as I cut this out is we got some of this stuff that holds the bracing underneath of the hood that really holds it and gives it some strength. So one of the things I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a couple of clamps in there, and I'm going to put a couple of spot welds in there just real quick. Try not to burn the paint. If I do, that's fine, because down the road, this is really just a test. So this is the hood that came on the car. This car originally had a 326 in it. Someone upgraded it to a 400. I am in the process, and I'll go into this in detail in a later video, but I'm in the process of putting a 455 stroked out to a 461 together to go in here, because the 400 that's in there, somebody had actually welded on the block itself on the deck and never had it finished, didn't do it correctly, and so I continue to get leaks in the head gasket on the driver's side, which of course on these is the most vulnerable side for overheating to begin with. So I'll start this back up after I get the welds in and show that. You can see I have the other side marked out, and I'm hoping this really helps get some of the heat out from under that hood.